Konnichiwa, welcome to another episode of Kyoto by Night, The Second Breath. We have the Court of the Four Winds being assembled for a meeting as well as a special ritual. Sosen Kisaragi has returned from a very lengthy sojourn in Tokyo with House Bishamon and has called for the court to assemble now that she has returned to Kyoto. So we will turn to Akiba Zaibatsu as they arrive at Myomenji Temple.
And Pink Fox arrives there with her cohorts, her partners in crime, as it were. Because, you know, this is something that really interests... Yes, dress nice, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But, you know, considering everything that's been going on, you know, they do want to make a good impression with Sosen now that they're returned, because there is a lot of things that they need to discuss. Pink Fox especially, because, you know, she's kind of the de facto mouthpiece of this little group, and, you know, she has also got the biggest mouth of everyone here, so, yeah. So yeah, they go straight in, you know, they're probably... unless, like anyone else, the other two have anything that they want to get done or do, or have anything to ask, Pink Fox is probably going to go straight to one of the retainers for the Myomenji Temple, and, you know, ask them, has the court started yet? Is Sosen already here, or whatever?
No, the court is still assembling right now. Here, these Juzu beads are to be worn by those in attendance, and he will offer each of you its bracelet of white beads with blue tassels on the bracelet.
I've seen these somewhere before. Wherever. Oh yeah, figured as much. I've been watching too many kung fu movies.
You in character and out of character too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, Pink Fox has been, well, yeah, both in and out of character. But Pink Fox has probably been watching a lot more ninja movies. Anyway, yeah, she probably like takes the beads, and probably like rolls them up in her hand just for the momentary.
Okay. And the servant will then escort you. There's a few servants there so that they would be able to escort individuals as they arrive to the main shrine area where they are assembling all the gaki of the city. The shrine has actually the shrine itself has white rice paper draped over it, and there is a small bed next to the shrine with a tiny table that has flowers, incense, candle, and a knife on the little table. The other gaki of the city are assembling as well. Some have arrived already, others will arrive after you. The mandarins are there. Gakusha is actually standing solemnly, because that's his demeanor all the time anyway, next to the shrine, while Musashi and Ogawa seem to be talking together off in a corner.
Could Pink Fox perhaps try and read the body language of the two of them?
Yes, you could do perception, empathy. Difficulty 7, I guess.
Failure.
Oh, okay.
May as well get the shit rolls out first.
Yay! I get 2
They
successes.
seem well, to Pink Fox, Musashi just seems his usual agitated self, or animated self, and Ogawa is more stoic. Akira, on the other hand, can tell that both of them are primarily curious and confused, and seem to be the nature of their discussion. Is they just kind of, just from their body language and facial expressions, and mixed with the fact that you probably haven't actually seen them interact much together, that would be what you pick up from them.
Yeah.
Yoshi's just being quiet.
What are you doing?
Uh-oh.
What?
Oh, this is an out of character thing. The page is having a hissy fit.
What, your page?
No,
Oh.
the Google Hangout.
Google Hangout.
Anyway, I can still hear you, so here she's going to say, were we taken to a particular position?
No,
Or just led to the room?
just led to the room. There are mats set out, presumably for the discussion, once court has been called into session. But there doesn't seem to be any specific place markers. The 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5 mats at the front are silk. The rest are bamboo mats.
Actually, remind me again. At the foot of the shrine, there is kind of a bed, a little table thing for like flowers and everything like that. There's rice, paper, things, and a knife.
Yes, so the shrine itself has white rice paper draped over it. There's a little bed, and next to the little bed is a table that has flowers, incense, candles, and a knife.
Okay. Would I be able to do an occult check on this stuff? Because
Yes, you could.
does this sound or a ritual check or anything like that?
Yeah, intelligence occult.
Okay.
I'd
Depending
roll
on the
it, but
difficulty,
as I said, I'm
3
having
successes.
hissy fit.
Can I roll with the higher difficulty even though I don't have a code?
Yeah, you guys can make the roll. Yoshi, you don't have to roll. I'll give this to you.
Okay.
But the other two can roll.
I was going to
Alright.
say, even out of character, I'm thinking I've got an idea.
Alright, so Akira's lost. Yoshi and Pink Fox, though. Pink Fox has to think about it for a second because her knowledge is all based on after the second breath. She doesn't have much to draw on from before. But she does manage to recognize that this would be, it appears that a funeral is set up. This would be a common funerary practice in Japan. The white prayer beads, the white rosaries as well, would be part of the funeral ritual. So it would appear that the court is prepared to hold a funeral for somebody.
Who's died? Oh wait.
Akira looks at Pink. Died? What do you mean?
Well, look at it. You know, this is all like funeral stuff. White, you know, color of death, thing that you only put at funerals. Got the flowers.
Oh yeah.
The only thing that we don't have is like a picture of whoever's died.
That's weird. I didn't hear about anyone dying.
Wait. I'm pretty sure I could make this assumption out of character. Yes, the only thing that we don't have is Yoshi.
Yeah. Lol.
I'm pretty sure I can make this assumption out of character, but but between common sense and those three, well, unless you want me to do another occult check, would it be a fair assessment that Pink Fox could assume this to be something related to the Thousand Whispers?
That would actually probably be a very safe assumption. Your basic knowledge of other dharmas, you know that they do sometimes have like funeral ceremonies to basically indicate when they're ending one life and starting another one.
Okay. I think just to be well, shall we just give this a little bit of a wait until Grant's got back in, or?
Yeah, we can give him a sec, but you can continue discussing what your train of thought is.
Do you think maybe, I don't know, are there any other Thousand Whispers in the city that may be going through? You don't think Masaru's finally decided he's gonna, start a new life, has he?
Akira thinks for a moment, then shakes his head. I think he would have let the court know if that was the case.
Yeah.
And Akira looks confused, but not like distressed. He's perplexed, but willing to wait and see what happens.
Okay. And so as we continue to wait for Grant to be able to hopefully get back in here, the mandarins start to take their positions at the front of the room. The seating is indicative that one of the silk mats, well, two of the silk mats would be for the two Yena of the city. So Pink would be expected to sit up there with the mandarins. And everyone starts to try to take their positioning.
Which, naturally Pink Fox will do, but, she'll... Yeah.
Okay, I've got to go sit over there on that seat over there. I'm not sitting there because it's comfy compared to these bamboo mats. I'm sitting there because I got responsibilities and stuff.
Akira does a little bit of a shoo, get on with it, go over where you need to go kind of gesture.
Okay.
And he sits with the genus as he's supposed to.
And she'll go down to the silk mat and sit in the semi-lotus position, as it were. But she's not meditating, so she's not got the feet up on each other and stuff like that. It's just kind of like, actually no, she'll be sitting down on the knees as you're kind of supposed to on these things. I don't know how they do it,
Yeah. I know, I couldn't do it.
She just sits there with the prayer beads in hand, because I think that of those three successes, she'll probably have a general idea of what you're supposed to do with these beads. Whether it's not put them around your neck, wrap them around your hands, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Just twirl them in your hand like woof woof, and say Buddha's name be praised about 108 times.
Ooh, shiny.
Yes.
Everybody starts taking up their position, and then Sosin comes out wearing her usual robes and stands at the front of the room and waits as everybody gets themselves settled in. Around the room at all those that have assembled. Court Four Winds, welcome. Appreciate, especially the short notice. However, my stay in Tokyo was much longer than had initially been anticipated, and therefore did not leave me much time once I arrived to be able to call you all together to be able to have this discussion. I appreciate the fact that all the mandarins and Yina have managed to be here, and looks like actually most of the Gaki of the city, which is good that all of you understand the weight of pressing need of having this court called for two purposes, the second of which I will get to in a little bit. But the first being very, very important and dire to state. The Quincunx Court of China had recently declared the turning of the ages has already occurred. They deemed that the sixth age is already upon us and sent missives to each of the other courts of explanation and why that this has been their state. There are some areas, especially those close to the country of Tibet, that have pockets that are still not fully transitioned, but according to them, the sixth age has already arrived. We were discussing and debating their proofs, their explanation for this, and comparing what they have deemed and what they have found with what we have seen and what we have found here in Nihon. And House Bishiman has agreed that we have seen the wheel turn, that the Demon Emperor has taken its throne. And unlike the prophecies and expectations, this has been a situation where it was not met with blunt force. It was not met with fire from heaven and the ground shaking. It was a quiet invasion of our world. But the signs are there. There are still some pockets of the fifth age, pockets of serenity amongst the chaos, the corruption of the sixth age. Fortunately, Kyoto seems to be one of the areas that has managed to maintain its relative purity. But how long that will stay, we do not know. I remember as well, when the fifth age began, Kyoto was one of the last areas in Nihon to turn from the fourth to the fifth. And it appears that we are fated to be one of the last areas to switch over as well to this new age. What that means for each of us, we need to find out. Our dharmas provide us a path, and it is our confidence and faith in that path, our proper behaviors that our soul states inform us on, that we will need to rely on now more than ever to be able to weather this change. Some of you who are, well, most of you who are very young have not had to deal with this kind of a transition before. And some of us have a lot more questions because of how long we have anticipated this. It'll be difficult, but I think we have the right individuals to help maintain Kyoto through this transition as long as it is able. No doubt the investigation of an unusual broken mirror will be a deciding factor on whether Kyoto maintains its relative purity much longer, or whether this will escalate and drag us all screaming into the state of the rest of the Middle Kingdom. Rely on your meditations, rely on your teachings, but expect that things will definitely change from what we are used to. And she will pause at this moment to allow her words to sink in. What are each of you thinking? I'll start with Akira. What's going through Akira's mind right now?
If anyone looked at Akira during this, they would have seen that his face turned paler and paler as she basically explained that the end of the world was upon them. But he was like he hasn't said anything, and he's not going to. But he's sitting there and looking not frightened as such, but wait, actually, is he? Because no. He's trying to take it in strides, but clearly putting up a mask of faux what you call it, security or whatever you not security, but he's putting on a straight face, or doing his best to, at least. Let me just see if he can. That's a charisma subterfuge roll. No, manipulation subterfuge, I would assume. And he does it. So he looks calm and collected, but on the inside he's oh fuck.
Okay. Pink Fox, what is going on inside yours?
Pink Fox is, well, for the most part, she's really having trouble understanding just how this came about. You know, not seeing the big pictures at all. You know. Then again, when you're just Hina, that's perhaps to be expected, but then she starts thinking about her Dharma, some of the lessons that she was taught during this time. She can't help but compare this whole passing of Overin from the 5th age to the 6th age as being like a dog that loses a leg. The dog doesn't cry over it. It doesn't yearn for the creature, the animal that it used to be. It doesn't think that much about it. It just learns to adapt, learns to survive. Even if it means being a shadow of its former self. This is kind of bad. And I know that's an understatement. But
That's your weekend ruined.
yeah, pretty much. It's only Monday, and it's only a Sunday. Yeah. This is bad. But as that Kyoto was the last city in Japan to transition. Besides, Sosen's taking the words of a court, a group of courts, should I say, that have historically hated Japan, that have subjugated them. I mean, she's never really thought that much about the Chinese, as, in all the time that she's thought of, but maybe it's the progressive mindset, but whilst it is tragic, whilst transitions between ages is always going to be tragic, there is still a chance for them to survive and thrive. There is still a chance. But only if they work together.
Okay. And Yoshi, what is going through your mind?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Given that Yoshi was there for the whole thing, but I feel I've missed maybe a bit of it. I don't know if the Japanese have equivalent, but he's basically going, well, I must have the serenity to accept things I can't change, but the will to change the things I can.
Ooh, Thomas Aquinas. Awesome.
Can I? That's the expression.
Basically, he's trying to learn what he can from the situation to help him in the future.
Okay. All right. So, as she looks amongst all of you as well as the rest and is looking around, this is something that will take time for us to fully understand. I have seen how things are in some of the other cities, and it is much different than what we expected. One might not even notice the difference, but then such was the same between the 4th and the 5th. Perhaps it was wrong or fear-mongering that had us expect the 6th age to be so much different than any of the other transitions. But a new age means that there is a lot of changes that will be upon us as a court, as well as a lot of different ways of having to approach situations. I have been anticipating and planning this ritual for some time to find the right time, and had already set a date with Gakusha and myself prior to my trip and meeting. So those of you who were not aware, which would be most of you, Kisaragi is not my actual name, but the name of the resplendent crane persona that I have been living as for the last few centuries. I, in my search for enlightenment, have taken the life of, or created the life of a resplendent crane to try to see things through the eyes of another Dharma. But I am actually the follower of the Thousand Whispers and have other lives that I have been leading as well in Kyoto periodically throughout my tenure as the Sosen of this court. But I feel that this life has run its course with everything that I am able to learn from this experience. And therefore, Sosen Kisaragi will no longer be the ancestor of the court, as Sosen Kisaragi shall no longer be in existence. I invite you all to stay for the funeral rites that I undergo, and the court will be left in the hands of the mandarins and the Jina. With the new mindsets, with new lives, facing this new age, I am sure they will do well for all of you. And with that, she begins to disrobe and then lays on the bed, and Gakusha starts doing ritual washing of the body, burning the incense, and starts going through the funerary rites. What's going through all your guys' heads now?
Oh shit. Akira will he will not he will of course not contradict her, because no, he's not stupid, but he will definitely not look happy, and he will look as if this is like he will have this kind of he won't say anything, but he will, and I'm going to put difficulty at 7 here because this is a little bit more difficult. Okay. Well, he doesn't look any different, but he definitely feels that this is wrong on so many levels. Would he have enough etiquette at etiquette 2 to be able to know when or even if it would be appropriate to speak?
If you got etiquette, but you already weren't. Yeah, you better make it wits etiquette roll, because you didn't make your roll, so you weren't familiar with the rights.
2 successes.
Okay. Yeah, at this point, it would be once they put her in a casket, then there would be time for discussion.
Okay, but not now.
Not now, no.
Good. Okay.
Trying to think of how that would respond. Pink Fox, I'll give you a perception, and I'll let you roll perception and Dharma.
Hang on.
Difficulty 7.
Nope, nothing.
Okay. So what is going through Pink Fox's mind?
You know
I
the
saw your little
expression.
screen change there.
Yes, yes. Did the are you aware of the expression a picture says 1,000 words?
Yes.
This is basically what Pink Fox is going through.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? She's actually a thousand whisper. She's actually a wise centipede.
Yeah.
Cunning.
And Yoshi?
And I did want to do this picture here, but it seemed a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe when she was in her first couple of Dharma ranks, but no, not while she's.
Yoshi is kind of having a aha moment in his head of, so that's why the Sozen seems so connected to that person. And yet and yet seems a little distant. If anyone hasn't figured out, I am drawing.
She is Mrs. Wakahisa. Yes, we know
Yeah.
that already. We learned that months ago.
Yes, but now we know why exactly why she did the whole living wife type thing, other than politically.
Yes.
So, other than that, he's mostly a little, I guess you could say, as much as Boneflower would be surprised. This is the moment of, did not see that coming. She had a very good
I'm
cover.
the only one who didn't.
As the ceremony progresses, after spending a few minutes laying on the bed after being redressed in a white kimono, and Gakusha is reciting the funerary sermons of the Buddhist Shinto faith. Then some servants bring in a casket that is lined with dry ice, so there's a little bit of smoke coming out of it. And they place her body inside the casket and then close the casket down. And then start carrying the casket out to another room.
And as the casket leaves the room, Akira will follow it with his eyes until he can't see it anymore.
They will actually bring her to an pyre into the courtyard that has been erected, and they set the casket on top of the pyre.
Oh. Yeah. I think I kind of know what this is.
Akira looks at Pink.
Yeah. With each, transition between life, they undergo a funeral, to say, to push that life away. I think basically they're doing like kind of a ritual that makes them go into little death for a little while. Then they can make a new life. I think so, anyway.
The monks set fire to the base of the pyre.
I mean, it's a little extreme, but
Akira will just look at the scene unfolding in front of him with like a mixture of horror and fascination. And he will look around to see the expressions of his fellow attendees. To see how they are taking it. Yeah, and whoever else might be there. I thought there was not just the group.
Yeah, you guys weren't the only ones that followed to watch as the casket is cremated.
Pink Fox for her part. I don't think I have a picture to really represent how she looks.
No.
But basically,
like,
she's just
my
kind
God,
of
what
going.
the fuck barbecue?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. I love the inclusion of barbecue in there.
Yes. I didn't think about that, to be honest. Was she Mongolian, by the way? Sorry.
No, that was
How
Masashi. The other Masashi, not you.
how do the mandarins look?
You could do perception, empathy,
Yeah. I
Okay.
just.
difficulty 7.
Fuck me, I'm getting such shit rolls today. It's a good thing this isn't combat. Hang on, let me do some practice to get rid of the bad numbers.
Perception, empathy, difficulty 7?
Yeah.
2 successes.
3 successes.
Ogawa seems conflicted. Gakusha is unfazed, but obviously he knew ahead of time what was at least about the funeral part, and he doesn't seem to be bothered by the chance of the wheel turning. Musashi seems his normal self. He seems a little mesmerized by the flame, but Ogawa, yeah, definitely seems to be troubled.
Hmm.
And yeah, by the time the burning is going, and then Gakusha basically, Kisaragi has been protector of this temple, protector of this dragon nest for many centuries. She has brokered peace with the changing breeds. She has championed our way of life and was known as a moderate amongst House Bishaman. As she mentioned, this was something that she had planned ahead of time, and the news of the Sixth Age arrival is not what led her to make this decision. Gakusha, yeah, is speaking. For those of you who have questions, there may not be answers. You may have to look within yourselves for the answers. In the meantime, the Mandarins and the Jina shall continue the goings-on of the court until such a time that we decide a new Sosen needs to be chosen out of our members. And in the meantime as well, be careful, be cautious, as there are signs of the changing. Be aware of portents as they arise on what could be the situation that moves us into this new age as well. Thank you for attending this meeting. Thank you for being here for this important ritual of Kisaragi's as we say goodbye to her. And then Gakusha just bows and turns back to watch the flames.
Would it be within the limits of etiquette to approach Kakusha at this point?
Yes, yeah, you would be able to. At this point, the formality of the ceremony has been dismissed. Gakusha's probably standing closer to the fire than you would be comfortable with, so to approach him I'll have you roll your yang at a difficulty of your Po +3.
Yep. Just my yang pool.
Yeah.
Yes. 4. And my Po is 3 and +3, that's 6.
Okay.
So actually, it would actually be quite an effort for him to do it. So doing
It would. You'd
would
be able to
suit.
inch yourself there. You'd be able to inch yourself. You'll be approaching. You're probably, if people are just looking at you from behind, you'll probably look more that you're just being politely cautious. But you are able to pull yourself closer.
Akira will approach. I keep saying him,
Either.
from from a position where he can see Akira coming and see the effort Akira is taking to come to him. And he will bow his head respectfully as he does so. Gakusha, he says with effort, may I speak?
They'll just turn and nod.
And with obvious like discomfort at this situation, like physical discomfort, he says, I have doubts. He says, but he says it low enough so that only Gakusha can hear it. He's not questioning Gakusha in front of the court because he's not stupid. He's saying, is it? I'm doubting the wisdom of leaving the court without a sosen, if indeed the 6th age has come.
Mandarins and Gina will decide.
Is that all he says?
Yeah, he looks like he goes to say something else and then just kind of stops himself a little bit. One's dharma illuminates a path. It's not always the easiest path, and it is your path. Nobody else can walk it.
Akira nods. I know, I accept this, he says, and no one else, of course, can walk another's path. That is certain. However, he stops, and he's about to say, however, but stops himself a little bit, worried that he might be pushing his luck. So he looks at actually, he's going to do a perception empathy on Gakusha to see whether or not he's pushing his luck. One success.
Okay, give me a sec. And
holy mother of shit.
Gakusha is very stoic.
Akira stands there and thinks for a moment before he looks at Gakusha's stoic face and decides that this is probably not the best time to engage Gakusha in a discussion. So he bows politely and heads back towards his roommates. Does he take any damage from standing so close to the fire? I'm guessing not, but I gotta ask.
No, you weren't that close. But somebody who is yin imbalanced has a lot less to fear against fire than somebody who is trying to raise their yang. So it would thus he would be much closer than any thrashing dragon or most yang aspected people would be comfortable with.
Yeah, fair enough. It's just I didn't know if he actually took damage from it or if it was just
No.
uncomfortable for him.
No,
Okay,
you
good.
weren't.
So
You weren't. He wasn't standing that close, but
okay, good.
if you tried to
Um,
check, if you wanted to stand beside Kisaragi, that would be a different matter. But
Yeah, that he's not. I think there's a limit to how far he can do that. Anyway, Akira will head back to his woo, and do a charisma charisma or subterfuge, charisma manipulation to put on a stone face. Charisma, right?
manipulation.
Manipulation. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh well, it doesn't really matter. It's the same dice pool. Fair enough. And I don't botch, but I fail. Look at all them ones. So
I'm
Akira,
fine, honest. I'm fine.
yeah, exactly. Akira like tries
Perception
to put a
engage.
yeah, yeah,
Pretty
yeah. Well,
successful.
Akira tries to put on like a stone face, but he's
having a
worried
feels
and
moment.
come again. Sorry.
He's having a feels moment.
Yeah, basically, and then not just that, but he's also having a oh fuck, this is gonna go horribly wrong, and we're not gonna do anything to stop it kind of
We're
feeling.
all gonna die.
Yeah, exactly. We gonna die. So he looks at his roommates and says, "Okay, so that just happened," and he does a nervous chuckle.
Yeah, we didn't get the chance to, tell her about the solution to the broken mirror. Doesn't mean that we're completely fucked, though.
Akira looks at Pink and says, I tend to disagree." He says because now, and
Yeah,
and he,
yeah,
I'm assu-
yeah, yeah. Remember our Dharma. Remember the dog?
hmm,
The dog that lost its leg? What did
yes,
they do?
he says. I get it.
They didn't whine, they didn't cry, they didn't complain, they adapted.
Akira
Maybe,
nods. This is
maybe,
not.
at best they'll be a shadow of their former self. Or maybe they'll find a way to adapt to the disability.
Akira looks at Ping and says, "My problem, what concerns me is what worries me is not primarily that that our current Sosen decided to take this step. That is not my prime concern." He says, "My prime concern is that we are left leaderless in a time where the sixth age has apparently come. That is what worries me."
Well, let me put it this way. The Mandarins have a devil tiger of House Genji, a thrashing dragon, and a bone flower. Out of those three, who do you think are the two most likely going to take that position? Hmm?
Akira waited a little bit. He didn't know that was a real question. So when she presses him, he looks at her and says, uh, "I assume the the devil tiger, but since no one was
Ogawa
left in charge."
Tommy's going to shake his head no.
and Musashi.
Hmm.
They're creatures of action. Creatures of thorough thinking with more of an immediate solution in mind.
Hmm.
Maybe it'll be a half measure, but half measures at this point are better than no measure at all.
He nods.
We may be leaderless this night, but we won't be leaderless for very long.
Besides,
He nods.
now would be a great time for us to let all the other mandarins know about what we've learned about this broken mirror and of our solution to this whole situation. Because whilst, Ogawa may be curious about Kaharu, fancying, if she does take the second breath, I think Gakusha would object to it, considering the path that let me put it this way. Do you think that Kaharu dying and resurrecting will strengthen Masaru's Han enough to the point that it brings him into balance? Won't.
Akira shakes his
Well,
head
actually,
a bit and says, I don't think so.
if anything, killing her might actually make his demon stronger. And who knows? Kaharu might come back even worse than she was before. So, the only way I think we can actually get something done is if we bring all of the court together, bring all of the three mandarins together, and we put them with the puzzle that we have and the solution, and ask them just one simple question. Is it within this court, within the mandarins, within the Yina, all the Gaki of this court, is it within their power to make this happen? And if not, what can we do? What is the best solution?
I agree, he says. This, for the moment, this seems the best course, as things stand.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yoshi? Any objections?
You shouldn't tell them we have a solution yet. We only have half the solution.
Like I said, a half measure is better than no measure at all.
But a measured response is better.
Is the glass always half empty for you?
Not half empty, only half.
Yeah? So, if the glass is half, do you fill it up, or do you finish the glass? I mean, we can go down a bar later on and test it out, but for now, let's actually get something done.
All I'm saying is, this is a pocket of Yomi spilling out into Kyoto. We have to be sure that we don't open it any farther.
Mm-hmm. Well, given what we've already learned, and given how time is now of the essence, would it not be more expedient for us to get the wisdom of someone more knowledgeable? So, let's go and talk to the mandarins.
Alright, that sounds good. Just saying, let's not say we have more than we do.
And with that, Pink Fox will drag the rest of her woo probably Well, I'll not go to Gakusha first because Gakusha. Well, my own assumption with common sense, my own common sense as well, is that Gakusha is still presiding over the right, and even though they are stoic and all cold mind and all that stuff, inside they've got to be hurting. But cold mindset.
And Musashi is actually pacing around Gakusha. So he seems to, periodically, you can see his lips moving, so he's obviously talking to Kyuji, but he's kind of just hanging around Gakusha, chatting a little bit near the fire.
My common sense is telling me that, yes, Musashi Dono is probably in the about one or two steps shy of decking someone at this point. So we'll talk to someone who we'll talk to the devil's advocate, as it were.
You can't see Ogawa anywhere.
In that case, Pink Fox will probably ask one of the retainers that's presently unattended. Have you seen Ogawa anywhere?
Fumitsugu-san left shortly after the pyre was lit.
Can I do a check on if they're lying or not?
Sure.
Akira will do the same. Perception,
No,
empathy.
Yeah, perception,
Right.
empathy.
I'm having such shit rolls today.
2 successes.
Okay, he's telling the truth.
Akira looks at Pink and nods discreetly.
Well, did he go in his limo or something like that? Or did he drive himself?
I actually didn't. I just saw that he was heading to the gates of the temple.
See if we can't catch him.
And then Pink Fox will probably hurry off, running to the gates just to see if she can actually catch up and get.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can do a perception alertness roll.
Okay. 1 success.
Okay. You spot his limo.
4
Looks like
successes.
it's just getting ready to pull away from the parking area.
Akira got 4.
Okay.
In that case, I think Pink Fox is. She's probably going to try and rush. Wait, wave a hand. Wait. No, she's not going to do that. She's not quite in ninja just yet.
Okay. You flag down the car, and the car stops, and the window rolls down with Waru at the seat. She glances way past you to look at Yoshi to see if he's approaching too.
Yoshi will give a polite wave.
Amasami. Is Ogawa-san in the back? Kinda need a real quick word.
He came by and told me he had to go for a walk and then took off. Told me I had the rest of the night off.
Shit. Never mind. Good to see you again, though.
Yeah, good to see all of you. How's everything at my house going? Are you guys almost done with that project?
Yeah, almost. We got one last sitting to do, but we kind of need, Ogawa and a few other people to talk to first about it. Then we'll be set to go. Then you can go back.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. I mean, I I've been, busy doing other stuff, but, it is nice to have a personal spot to go to, and, some of the work I do for Ogawa-san just, requires a little more discretion than you normally can get at just, a hotel room or something, so.
Mm. Well, have a nice night.
Yes, do you guys need a ride anywhere? I can drive your woo around?
Not yet, but we kind of need to speak with the other mandarins first. We tried to speak to Ogawa first, but if he's not here, anyway. If you want to hang around for like 15 or 20 minutes or so, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. I can do that.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. And then Pink Fox walk back to the Woo.
Let's go see if we can actually speak to them without, causing anything to going on.
She'll lead the rest of them back to Musashi and Gakusha. I'm assuming that they're still doing the same as before.
Yeah, the fire's pretty big. Gakusha's just standing there, staring into the flames. Musashi's still just kind of pacing nearby. He sees you guys approaching, and he'll start heading towards you.
Musashi, no.
Well, that's quite the night, eh?
Yeah. Wasn't exactly
serves me
what I was-
right to stay out of the loop.
Yeah. It's kind of a shame, really. We had so much that we wanted to ask when she got back. Now we'll never be able to.
Well, it's not. You do understand that
Oh yeah,
my
she's
roommate's
gone a little
not
dead.
dead. It's just
Yeah,
she's
no,
not
she's just
Kisaragi
taking
anymore.
Yeah, she's just taking the little death, so that when she pops right out, she'll kind of become, I don't know, someone else.
Well, she's already obviously she's not still in the casket. She already slipped over to the Scarlet Realms, or sorry, I guess she'd slip over to the Ebony Realms because that's where the spirits go. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll. I mean, at the very least, I know she'll still keep in touch with Gakusha and I as her roommates, but I don't think she'll make too many public appearances with the court. Considering her role in the court, she's gotta burn all those bridges, right?
Mm.
It's probably one of the most annoying dharmas I've had to deal with. I mean, even you cold ones aside, Yoshi. I mean, don't get me wrong, Gakusha can be a bit of a pest, but when he was a centipede, he was even more of a prick. I can at least get along with him now that he's gotten all cold and calm and.
Yeah, but doesn't Gakusha do stuff though? Like Mr. Don't want to do stuff here.
She pokes Yoshi in the side of his face playfully.
Gakusha does do things, but Yoshi seems to attract situations like bright light and moths in the night. So,
You're the only bone
I don't know if it's...
know that's had two girls at once.
And she keeps on poking him, each and every syllable.
I'm not quite sure exactly how effective he is at handling everything that comes his way. I guess that remains to be still seen, but you do have your fair share of things dropping on your lap, don't you?
Yeah.
Let's go back a second. Did you say Gakusha was a centipede?
Yeah, when our woo was first formed, we were actually slightly imbalanced because we had two centipedes, which was very unusual at the time, mind you, that there would be more than one of each dharma. But then, you know, fate helped him find his proper way, so I guess that makes sense. The five of us would have been balanced if Kakusha was on his right dharma to begin with.
You know, speaking of balance, you know that thing that Kusha, that Sosin, can we even call her that anymore?
Well, she was, so when we're referring to Kisaragi as Kisaragi, you can still refer to her as the Sosin, the previous Sosin, the
Okay.
late Sosin.
Okay.
She probably
So-
didn't tell me what she had planned because she knew that I had been telling her all along that since she was masquerading as a false Gaki life, then she would have to alter her funeral plan to be, what would kill a Gaki. I was encouraging her to go out in a blaze of glory in battle, which is probably why she didn't tell me she had found the proper date for Tombiki, because this is a lot more mellow than I would have thought a Gaki's funeral should be.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, the artist formerly known as Sosin, we basically had this thing that we wanted to ask her opinion about, and see if it would be a good, because the broken mirror, right? We think we know what's causing it,
Oh, excellent.
and we think we may have a solution to it.
Okay.
This is well, I'll give you the shortened version because we don't have a lot of time, and anyway, basically we think that the mirror must have originally formed in the place where Kingu Masaru and his sister, grew up as children. That they had a really horrible childhood. They got abuse from their parents, so they hid in this room just to get away from them. And I think that Koharu, that's the sister, we think that the sister's own pain caused the creation of that broken mirror. And, loads of other people got caught in the broken mirror and they couldn't escape. There was no light, no sound, no food, no anything. So, that whole pain coupled with, the broken mirror kind of broke Koharu's mind to the point that it awakened her Po. And, she killed her brother and one other person and, cannibalized them, for food. That's kind of why Koharu is, kind of really messed up. However, because, Masaru took the second breath, and somehow he now has a spirit link to that room, which Koharu, whether she knows it or not, is making any time that she draws those frickin' pictures that she does. They're not always, well, every time that she does pictures, she does like landscapes, rooms and things like that. And I think that maybe, at least maybe in the place that she does them, or maybe some place that looks like it creates the broken mirror there temporarily. Because any time that you look at those pictures, your Po goes, and if your Po has actually been in the broken mirror, it'll go OMFG, what the fuck, and so forth. And we think we may have figured out, the solution that we think we can do, and this is important to point out, Koharu has a Po which is stronger than most Gaki. Like, it's to the point where it probably makes Masaru's look civilized.
Ooh.
Now,
That's very. She must be filled with all sorts of nightmarish thoughts.
yeah, when we tried using obligation and cultivation and stuff like that on here, we got all of these really horrible images. So to put it bluntly, we can't kill her. It probably like solve the problem, but then we'd basically have to find her the next night, or whenever she takes a second breath. And the problem with that is it doesn't provide a solution to Masaru because he needs his Hun strengthened. How can we strengthen his Hun? By playing on the obsession. He feels that he has to, in order to get onto his path, if I'm understanding the whole thing, he has to step away from the life that he knew. He has to reconcile everything and then step away from it.
Well, if you were going to go through with destroying her, I know that you're talking like you don't want to do that, but because this is the first suggestion you came
Well,
up
I'm not
with.
saying that I'm against it, but if we do, then we're going to have to deal with
It
her
might-
twice.
Well,
It might create more problems.
it could create
Yeah.
more problems for certainty. But if you coordinated with it, I mean, we have rituals that can assist in dealing with such things. Prayer for taking life, dealing with when she dies, her spirit will leave her body. You've got somebody gifted with the insights of death. Sure, he has knowledge or ability to be able to interfere with her soul reconstituting. Prayer for taking life might not be enough, but it could be a starting point to try to put her to rest so she doesn't come back. And somebody could be on the other side. If you guys are planning her destruction, somebody could be on the other side waiting for her spirit at the moment of her death, and that might also assist with things. I don't know. This is a really peculiar situation.
Yeah, that's kind of why we thought we bring it to you and Gakusha and Ogawa, the
What the
artist from
hell?
Sosen, but
Where did that prick go? Speaking of Fumitsugu.
I tried looking for him because you looked a little bit upset, and I thought you were saying something to Gakusha, so I didn't want to interrupt your stride. So I went up to the parking lot to try and find him, and he kind of his Bakemono retainer.
We
said
we
that,
don't know where he is.
Yeah, basically
Yes.
we don't know where he is.
Well, at least he stayed for the ceremony. You can never tell with their house how much they care or don't care. I'm sure he's just loving this whole thing.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Even evil has loved ones.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he wasn't that tight with Kisaragi, but who knows? Maybe he's disappointed that it doesn't have a chance to defeat her for the ancestor position, or maybe he's upset because there isn't demons crawling out of the ground for him to fight one-on-one. Maybe he's disappointed that he took this position here instead of going to another city where he might already be dealing with six-age problems, and now he's stuck in probably one of the tamer cities of Japan. Who knows? One can never second guess the devils.
Yeah, but I'm guessing he joined you guys for a reason. Not just to stir the pot.
Wow. I don't know.
No.
Anyway, what was your other thought then, other than killing?
Well, my other thought is that if we not only have to get the thing about broken mirrors that we've learned is that there's more than one way to close them. There's no surefire way to close them. So even if we did kill Koharu, there's no guarantee that that would stop the broken mirror from opening up again. Because it's kind of like what we told Ogawa when we first started talking about this. We don't want to so much as lock the door to this broken mirror and throw away the key, but we want to throw away the keyhole as well.
That's probably a good
So this
idea.
is what
I would say
this
it's
is kind of
very
what we
tricky to try to close one because of the fact that Well, obviously, nobody's had much luck closing every single one that's cropped up.
Mhm.
So I would say that, yeah, there probably isn't a surefire remedy.
Yeah, but we gotta try, and if we think we may have the perfect one, which will
Um,
kill two birds with one stone, as it were.
That
The
actually
least we
would
can
be
do is try.
very, yeah. And if you guys could figure out a way to do it.
Yeah, we have. Well, let me explain.
No, but if
And she like
if
starts to hopping up on her feet, you know.
if you toss away the key and the keyhole, if you guys prevent this broken mirror from getting a hold in here in Kyoto, you could potentially continue protecting Kyoto. We might not have to deal with as much of the Sixth Age as other areas. I'm sure it'll eventually seep in, but if you are able to, this might be, the more experience you get with it, the more learned, the stronger you get, the better skilled you get at it, the more enlightened you get at it. This could very well be something that could help us turn over to the Seventh Age when the time comes.
And you see that Pink Fox is like hopping up and down, starts to slow down.
I really didn't think of it kind of that way, but yeah, I suppose if what we do works. Anyway, here's what I think we do. We first get Masaru to forgive his sister, which is not going to be easy, I know.
Yeah, he would actually probably gravitate to the Thrashing Dragons very easily, but the former Sosen had concerns with letting him follow his passions. But
Yeah. I mean, well, I think you can probably understand if it weren't for the fact that he got bits of him nibbled out of him. I mean, I did say that Flesh and Tie could help with that, and he kind of was interested in that stuff. But anyway, what I think, in order to do this, we're probably going to have to, use Soul Bridge quite a bit, and probably get him talking about, show him this kind of stuff. Try to get him focusing on the positive things of his relationship with Koharu, and try to teach him more about what broken mirrors do to humans, because they really mess up people's minds. Koharu couldn't have been born, really fucked up in the head or anything like that.
yeah,
Maybe if he understands that it wasn't Koharu, but it was the broken mirror that was affecting her.
the what you would need to do is get something. He's got still a lot of negative focus, so I don't know. Like I've tried, not a lot. I haven't tried hard, but I have tried to cheer him up. But Gakusha says it's like he takes a few steps forward and then stumbles back again, and just can't quite get
Why don't we go
can't
to
quite get his head around
yeah.
what he needs to overcome.
Why don't we go? Oh, I was thinking. He told me where he grew up in. Maybe I can go there and check it out, and maybe find some things from his childhood, things that could have some positive reinforcement for him. But that's just him.
It is, but it's a good
What are we going to
start.
do about Koharu is the question. How are we going to get her in our custody and keep her hands away from painting stuff? I mean, we could break her hands, but that's kind of redundant with the whole point that we're trying to do.
Akira does a little bit of chuckle and then says, "Well, I was about to suggest cut them off, but meh."
Yeah, I don't know. I would say whatever your first impulse is what you should probably do. You know her, I don't. You know where she is, I don't. You know what. I mean,
Yeah.
you might know what kind of security she has, I don't. First impulse, I would
My first impulse
I
with
would
this whole
stalk
thing
her
is to
down
bring
and
it.
drag her out to the forest. So
Well, my first impulse with this whole thing is to bring it to you guys because there's a lot about this that we don't know. And
there's a lot about this we don't know either. Broken mirrors are not something we've had to deal with until the last century, rumored. Really hard creep discussion just for the last few decades. So, since the burnings at least.
I think with the whole thing with, well, as much as I hate to admit this, I think Ogawa might actually know, well, be able to keep Koharu. Not saying it'd be good, but, I mean, unless you want to keep her in, your little shack. But, she's kind of a bit morbid.
Why don't you keep her?
Yeah, because my room's full of pink stuff.
You don't think that would have a calming effect?
No, she she doesn't like doors being closed or windows not being open. And she doesn't like meat. And she's also a big chain smoker, and she does drugs. And she does self-harming when she's not doing drugs and alcohol. And she also opens up broken mirrors.
Already sounds like she's a thrashing dragon.
What? What? We don't open up broken mirrors. Well, not that I know of.
Not that part, but the rest of her.
Well, I don't know.
Forgive me, Pink, if I may interject. Musashi, have you traveled this great country of ours much?
I have a few times.
All right. Have you ever run across another thrashing dragon by the name of Jimbo Chan?
Let me just check. Oh, let me just see here. Has he been to Kyoto before? No, he has not been to Kyoto. So let's see here. The name seems familiar, but I can't quite place who it is.
Pink, did you mention the scroll?
Yeah.
Alright. Well, this thrashing dragon actually successfully closed one. And we learned most of what we know by his first-hand account.
Well, then I would definitely deal with the guy that knows stuff, because the rest of us probably can't help so much.
Yeah,
I mean, Gakusha might. I don't know if you've talked to him yet, but...
Yeah, they mentioned something about trying to find dragon lines, but, it's kind of the thing. Broken mirrors kind of crop up in places where, it's really indistinguishable from where the wall is so thick. I mean, it's not so much like they're making a big portal to, the Scarlet World or the Ebon World. They're making a portal straight to Yomi, and that kind of influence seeps over. And so, it really doesn't really make all that much difference, because it's kind of like I wouldn't say a get out for you. It's kind of like a free pass type thing for Yami to get in between these. And at least according to their scrolls that we read anyway, they're all kind of in the realm of the Yama King, with the big horrible skyscraper thingies and stuff. But yeah, I just gave that idea and everything to you, hopefully so you can, tell Kakusha and Ogawa when he turns up again, and hopefully, between the three of you, once the whole thing with the the whole new Sosen for the court and everything like that, and maybe the artist formerly known as Sosen can probably help out as well. But for the most part, we kind of need help with this thing, at least in small details. Just a place that we can fit Koharu in, and a place where she can't cause any harm and no harm can come to her, and oh yeah, and if you know anyone who knows how to heal someone's soul, with the dragon's tear, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Let me know about this Jojo guy, Jimbo, whatever. Jim, it's the guy that Yoshi mentioned.
Yeah.
Jimbo Mat-chan.
Met-chan. Okay, yeah. I would, if he's actually encountered and dealt with stuff like this, I would check with him, because I haven't encountered anything about this. This is kind of beyond. I mean, I know stuff about stuff, but I don't know much about this. I know, yeah, I know a little bit about a little bit.
Well,
and if you've already spoken with Hiro and he doesn't have a lot of specifics, I can't imagine he's dealt with anything either. We haven't really had anything like this crop up in Kyoto before, it's been a while since I've wandered anywhere, and I don't think Gakusha's left Kyoto ever. So
if you keep an eye out for a crashing dragon on a motorcycle, because this is what I've heard of.
Yeah,
what is it with all you new Gaki and your fascination with motorcycles?
I don't know. I don't like motorbikes.
I prefer cars
Like this
with gas mileage.
But I'll be honest with you, Yoshi. I don't think that guy's going to be making a trip to Kyoto anytime soon. Because science.
Well, it seems we are.
If you have no way of, you haven't even. Have you thought of any way that you can get in contact with him? I don't. I'm a thrashing dragon. And he's facing a thrashing dragon. Yeah. Gotta do what we can with what we got.
Yeah, that's been the theme for tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I suppose we're gonna have to arrange a meeting of the higher court, Fox, for us to at least discuss court business and what we're going to do moving forwards. But obviously tonight's not a good night for that, even with Ogawa fucking off on us. So another night.
Yeah. I feel really bad about, I do feel that I've kind of neglected a little bit of the duties of, being the minister of the floating, the floating stuff. But, this whole thing with the broken mirror's really taken up a lot of time, and it's kind of a priority.
I would say so, and it sounds like you guys are definitely heading in the right direction with that.
Yeah.
Or somewhat tangentially in the right direction.
Mm-hmm. Well, kind of like the whole theme for tonight, isn't it? Doing what we can with what we got.
Yeah. Alright. Well, I am going to... He actually goes like this, looks at his bare wrist. I am going to step away. I think Gakusha's lost in thought, and I'm likewise got to meditate the way I do on what's going on. So, but by all means, if I don't hear from you before our court meeting, next court meeting, whenever we announce it. Let me know what's going on with you guys with this, and yeah, if you guys need to learn any rituals or anything to help you get through this. Well, I know you already know the ritual for taking a life, Fox, so I think that's...
I do as well, Akira mentioned.
Oh, excellent. Yes, of course you do as well. So the two of you, I know if that ritual will help, if you decide to, that she is the source of the corruption and needs to be eliminated, then hopefully that ritual will assist. And whatever you end up choosing, if it's wrong, hopefully you at least learn from it so that the next one will be easier.
Well, we'll see you when we see you then.
Yes. Oh. Exciting night. And he'll scamper off.
And I should really be getting to bed soon, so
Yeah.
Just one last thing before we leave.
Okay.
Yoshi is feeling curious. He's going to activate Yin's sight at the moment.
Okay. You see across the shroud, and
bye guys.
By Jason, see ya.
we'll end up here right away, guys. But looking across the shroud, it's serene. There are some of the yin spirits of the temple are gathered in the courtyard as well. But you do not see a spirit that would be recognizable as Kisaragi.
Either she's hiding in the casket or she left already. Would you say that any of the yin spirits seem interested in Gakusha? Or are they just about doing their thing?
You would recognize at the edge of the courtyard, you can see the spirit that you have seen that follows Gakusha around, and you also see the one that has perverted interest in Akira as well.
Oh shit.
Wait,
But
perverted?
they are
Yeah.
standing at the edge of the courtyard.
I thought it was pretty much he wants to kill me.
Yeah.
Yoshi will just turn around and motion for Kira to follow and softly say, Thieves, the Jade Empire soldiers did not get him.
Actually, since now this might be silly, but I would be remiss in my responsibilities if I didn't ask. Since he now has obligation 3, he can issue commands to both natural and supernatural creatures.
He can. He will need Yen Mantle, which is Yen Prana 2, to be able to use it on Yen spirits.
Well, then never mind.
And
Okay.
And so I think at that we will end the scene. Lot of changes going on in Kyoto. We will see how the Wu handles it going forwards. Sayonara.
Sayonara.